dispute, which is in some ways the principal geopolitical problem of South Asia, as distinguished from the Palestinian, the need for a Palestinian independent state carved out of the Israeli-occupied territories after 1967. Of these areas, we should also remember that part of what India considers Kashmir is occupied by China, People's Republic of China. So if you bet on India, you get automatic hostility of Pakistan and the Muslim world because they're holding these Muslims in Kashmir under oppression. And you also get a country which has a boundary dispute with China. Are we nuts? Is this insanity or is it lunacy? Indeed, Manmohan Singh, in his interview with the eager warmonger Lally Weymouth, the neocon, mentioned, oh, yes, we try to get along with China, but we have a border dispute with them. And there was a brief war back in 1962, which the Indians lost, by the way, militarily, although it was not on a very large scale. Now, here's what we would recommend. The parts of Kashmir that are occupied by China should stay that way. Good heavens. No meddling in that direction, certainly not with the support of the United States. The great going to get another reason for friction and antagonism with China. Absolute insanity. Now, the Vale of Kashmir, Kashmir Valley, it's 95% Muslim, 4% Hindu. That looks like a pretty clear-cut case. That should go to Pakistan. But let's go on. Jammu, 66% Hindu, 30% Muslim, 4% others. All right, 66% is a clear majority of Hindus. That goes to India. And then we have this other area, Ladakh, which is 50% Buddhist and 46% Muslim. In order to be conciliatory to India, I would say the Ladakh can stay under Indian administration. Of course, all of these populations have the right to be heard from, if need be, with a plebiscite. In the areas that have been occupied by Pakistan, there are essentially no such problems. The northern areas are 99% Muslim. That's where the planned oil pipeline would go from Pakistan into China. And then Azad Jammu is also 99% Muslim. So those are all clear. The one that stands out is Kashmir, 95% Muslim, obviously want to become part of Pakistan, but they're not allowed to. Now, there are about 140 million Muslims in India, and if you ever got some kind of apocalyptic Third World War with India taking the side of the U.S. against Pakistan and China, I'm sure those 140 million Muslims would be heard from. A lot of them are in Kashmir, but by no means all. Also, contrast the dignity of President Hu of China with the con artist demeanor of this Manmohan Singh. Remember when Barkey went to Beijing and he tried to talk about the Dalai Lama. Oh, yes, that great progressive figure, the Dalai Lama, with his feudal methods, right, and his legal code, which is based on mutilating the human body, right? They'll cut your arm off for some minor offense, right, back to the Middle Ages and worse. Well, you saw who, right? He would say, well, you should oppose protectionism. Now, I'm not for protectionism. I'm simply saying that who was able to stand up to Obama. If you looked at Singh at this state dinner, this was a clear decision by Singh to engage in direct personal flattery and adulation of Obama in order to appeal to Obama's vanity, his egoism, his narcissism, and his megalomania. And in particular, when Singh said, we appreciate the grace and charm of Michelle Obama, you could see that he knew what he was doing. So this is some guy from an Eastern market who is putting away Obama without benefit of bakshish for Obama. So this is, on the whole, a disaster. Now, as the weeks go by, we'll return to this issue. The problem also with India, of course, is the current government. Since 1947, right? That's the breakup of the British Crown colony of India. Pakistan at that time included Bangladesh, then that broke off, and India has been splitting again and again ever since. It is not a stable state. It has to do with the caste system If you have a system based on Brahmins who rule automatically by birth, and that never changes, and untouchables who are essentially relegated to the most menial and horrible tasks in the society, also by birth, and that never changes, you can't have a nation. And Mahatma Gandhi was very clear on this issue. If you want to have a country called India, you got to get rid of the idea that anybody's an untouchable. But the Brahmin would say, no, those are my servants, and they've got to work for me. And indeed, if some of these untouchables try to convert to Christianity, there's a group there that tries to do away with them because they're denying service to the Brahmins that they're supposed to serve in all eternity. Now, again, this is not just oligarchy. This is it's rooted in the metaphysics, if you like, of the religion. Problem with India is it's never been united under Hindu auspices. It was united under Buddhist auspices between 300 and 200 B.C. under Asoka. It was then united under Muslim auspices with the Mughal Empire for quite a while, and then by the British. And then ever since the current version, the democratic, varying from democratic to Hindu and back with the RSS and the Janata Party, it has been tending to crumble. So there you have it. This is a very, very dubious proposition. The other thing about India, 800 million people in India live at a wage of less than $2 a day. 800 million, less than $2 a day. And if you compare the progress made by China in eradicating poverty or alleviating poverty, you'll see that China, with all of their problems and the oligarchy that you have there too, it's not as bad. The Chinese have done much better in the questions of rural poverty and so forth. In India, you've got this mass of 800 million impoverished people. Now, something should be done for them. That would be the thing that I would add to the Herstal plan here. We can call it the New Geneva Accords between India and Pakistan. The one thing that we've got to add in, and also for Afghanistan and indeed for some others, the Uzbekistan comes to mind, a Marshall Plan for the region from which everybody will benefit. That's the one thing that the Marshall Plan has got to do. It's got to be for everybody. So let's turn away now from that complex of disasters to actually some good news and some funny stuff. We all want to pay close attention to ClimateGate. Yes, indeed, the emails that have been released, which now show that the quackademics and the charlatans have been pushing their fraud and hoax of man-made global warming and their lunatic genocidal prescriptions coming out of that, and we'll be back in a minute to tell you all about it.